Alexander Napolin, attorney at large, goes live every day at 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. This is my 10 a.m. session going over a current event from the legal perspective and answering your questions in the chat. Remember that what we discuss during the live sessions is not legal advice. It's general information only. It's meant to help you. It's meant to help you understand the world better, but it's not legal advice. If you need legal advice, you need to contact a lawyer and give them the specific facts and circumstances of your case, and then get that feedback that is legal advice that will help you decide what to do. So for this morning, and we're going to go over our current event, which is a continuation of yesterday's current event. Yesterday, we discussed the Fairview fire in Hemet, California, Riverside County, which at the time of my live stream yesterday at about 4:30 was burning up to 20,000 acres and was 5% contained. As of the writing of this article, which was 8:52 a.m., which was about an hour and a half ago, the Fairview fire had erupted up to 27,000 acres and is still only 5% contained. So the significance of the Fairview fire from a legal perspective is, like we discussed yesterday, there could be someone who's potentially liable for causing this fire. In other words, when a fire sparks and burns through the negligence of a utility company for not maintaining their equipment, or through a private person or company, then there's potential legal liability for those who perish in the fire, for those who lose property or have their houses lost in the fire. There's going to be liability, just like in previous fires in California, as we discussed yesterday. There's the Mills fire up north that's being investigated, and there's fires in Malibu from 2018, and other fires at Southern California. Edison was found to be liable to for starting. So the specific discussion that we should have here is that there is evidence that Southern California Edison is to blame for this fire. Southern California Edison, let's go into it. This is an article where a lawyer is discussing the liabilities. Robertson, okay, so we're looking, this is an attorney who has represented other victims in other fires, named Robertson, says the term circuit activity is really code for an electrical arcing event, which can happen when an energized conductor or power line comes into contact with another piece of equipment on a power pole. It's an extremely hot event, Robertson says. It melts the aluminum power lines, and molten pieces of those aluminum power lines then drip and drop into the dry vegetation beneath and start the fires. Faults, it goes on to say here that faults on Edison's electrical lines are recorded on their company system. Robertson said it will actually pinpoint the precise location of where the electrical event happened. With Edison blamed for a number of massive California wildfires in recent years, including the 2017 Thomas Fire in Ventura and Santa Barbara counties, and the 2018 Woolsey Fire fire in Malibu, Edison has emphasized its fire prevention efforts, including covering blah, 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 blah. It goes on to state that Robertson goes on to state that Edison has deferred maintenance on a vast majority of their service territories, and because of that, their equipment has been failing, and it typically fails when there's wind event, and we find that there was a problem with either with their power poles or their power lines. So if you're out there and you're in Hemet, if you're in Riverside County, you may have legal recourse, according to this attorney, who suspects that there may be, because there was, Southern California Edison is required to report these events. And what they have reported, as we went over yesterday, was that there was an electrical arcing event. That's what was submitted to the California government. There's a required submission to the California agency in charge whenever there is this type of arcing event. And the public utilities, the California Public Utilities Commission. Okay, but just because This is attorney Alex Robertson who's been putting out these statements saying that, hey, this is a possibility. There could be negligence on the part of Southern California Edison. So if you're a homeowner in Hemet and you've lost your home, if you're a resident of Hemet and you've lost a loved one, there is a potential that there's some liability. There's a civil action against Southern California Edison like in the past. So in this situation, Southern California Edison reported to the California Public Utilities Commission that there was this electrical arcing event, but it's not an admission of guilt, attorney Alex Robertson says, because we don't really know what happened yet. There has to be a further investigation. They're going to be able to pinpoint the exact spot, go out to that spot, and find the evidence of the fire actually igniting from that one point. So in the days to come, we're going to find out more. But if you do have a residence in Hemet and you've lost your house or you've lost a loved one, I encourage you to reach out to a lawyer if you need help. I do have experience representing victims of wildfires. My name's Alexander Napolin, and even though on this station it's an entertainment channel, Alexander Napolin, attorney at large, goes live, covering current events from a legal perspective and answering your questions in the chat. I am a practicing California lawyer. And if you have sustained loss in this wildfire, you believe you would like to pursue legal action against Edison, it may come out that they are in fact liable for sparking this massive blaze in Riverside County. So I would encourage you to reach out to an attorney. You can reach out to my office by dialing 866-NAPOLIN or visiting my website, www.napolinlaw.com. So that's it for my 10 a.m. session. This is Alexander Napolin, attorney at large, goes live, answering your questions in the chat and going over current events from the legal perspective. So I don't see anybody in the chat right now who wants to ask a question, so I'm just going to turn this off for now. My second stream will go live at 4 p.m. today. Again, this is Alexander Napolin, attorney at large, goes live every weekday at 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out, 866-NAPOLIN. Visit my website, www.napolinlaw.com. And if you are experiencing this wildfire, you need someone to talk to, you can always reach out to my office. I encourage you to reach out to my office or maybe Alex Robertson here. It looks like he has a lot of good experience representing victims of wildfires. Again, my number is 866-NAPOLIN. And my website is www.napolinlaw.com.